Look at the numbers. When a man cheats, in 73% of cases, he doesn't fall in love. He couldn't care less about the woman. But when a woman cheats, in 65% of cases, she's already head over heels for the guy. Now let's apply some logic. If she's already in love with the man she jumped into bed with, then all her apologies and tears are dust. Nothing. If you forgive her and take her back, then in 2 weeks, maybe a month, you'll catch her texting him again. Even if she's crawling on her knees swearing on your children's health that it's over between them, it's a lie. You cannot switch off being in love by an act of will. But let's imagine the impossible. She grits her teeth and genuinely cuts him off. You understand she'll still be pulled toward him like a magnet. She'll think about him. She'll fantasize about him, which means she will feel exactly nothing for you. No warmth, no emotion. Look at it soberly. Why did she spread her legs for another man? Because she wanted to. She wanted him. She didn't want you. Do you really think your righteous anger is going to magically rewire her libido? Obviously not. Desire doesn't switch on by snapping your fingers. When a cheater's on her knees saying, "I'll do anything, I'll eat dirt, just forgive me," she isn't saving your relationship. She's saving her own skin. She still doesn't want you, she wants him, she's just scared now. Here's what amuses me most. She's on the floor at your feet saying, "Forgive me, I'll stop talking to him." So as compensation for sleeping with another man, you're offering to stop visiting him? What generosity. Then you ask her, "Let's say I forgive you." What happens next? We'll live happily, soul to soul. Stop right there. If you have a magic switch labeled, "Love my husband and live happily," why didn't you flip it yesterday? Did you forget? Or does it only work when you get caught by the ass? Checkmate. She'll have nothing to say. Her script is broken. The theater didn't work. Now the second version, the one men strangely think is more harmless. I feel nothing for him. It was just physical. A moment of madness. Think about what that actually means. You've been together for years, shared life, kids, plans, and she torched all of it for 15 minutes of pleasure. If a woman isn't in love and cheats anyway, that's not just betrayal. That's a serious clinical case. Either she's lying to your face or her brakes are completely gone. Continuing with a woman like that is dangerous. If your wife fell in love with someone else, it's betrayal. But at least her psyche is capable of attachment. You could live with a woman like that for some years. But if she felt nothing and did it out of boredom, that's total unfitness. You cannot build anything with her. Here's the frightening part most men don't know. Almost all men forgive their wife's affair within the first week. Caught her and forgave her almost immediately. Why? Because he thinks, if I throw her out with her things right now, where does she go? To him, who comforts her. Him, who helps her move. Him. And that thought makes a man shake. That's why he's afraid to throw her out. He feels calmer if she sleeps at home. Though in reality, what difference does it make whether that man sleeps with your wife one more time? He already did it. He slept with her the day before yesterday. What changes if he does it again tonight? The second reason is fear. If you kick her out, you're facing divorce, court, splitting assets, losing your kids, and you're already crushed. It takes an extraordinarily brave man in that state to simply say, "Leave," and point at the door. Especially when she says, "I'm sorry, I'll never do it again." Any sane man knows that's a lie. How can you take a cheater at her word? But the prospect of not blowing up your whole life is so tempting that you'll eat that garbage by the shovel rather than wake up tomorrow in an empty apartment. You strike a disgusting deal. She pretends she repents. You pretend you believe her. Neither of you leaves the comfort zone. Plenty of therapists say forgiving an affair is the path of the strong, a spiritual feat. Seriously? So the mightiest titans of spirit are the men who voluntarily wear the horns? Do I have that right? If forgiving is so hard, why do nearly all husbands manage it within days? I'll tell you why. Because it's the coward's path. You don't have to pack her things, drag yourself through court, or start your life from zero. We're told forgiving is harder than leaving. It isn't, because leaving is an action, and forgiving is inaction. If you have children together, a man forgives almost instantly because his psyche can't handle that animal-level terror. When a man can't decide whether to forgive, here's what I tell him in consultation. Imagine you have no children. Imagine the divorce takes 1 minute. Imagine you keep every single asset. And now imagine there's a line of loyal, reliable, beautiful young women waiting outside your door. Now tell me honestly, under those conditions, would you forgive her? And he freezes because the answer is no. Under those conditions, he'd throw her out that same second and never speak to her again. In most cases, a man forgives an affair not because his heart is big, but because his balls are small. His entire kindness rests on fear. Fear of alimony, of losing his kids, of being alone. I've had men in consultation who survived bankruptcy, prison, the death of their parents. They said their wife's affair was the worst thing that ever happened to them. Worse than prison. Nobody's asking you to become a cyborg. I just want you to tell yourself the truth. I'm forgiving her because I'm terrified. Here's what stuns me most. A man whose wife cheated yesterday asked me, Max, should I forgive her or not? And she hasn't even thought about apologizing. She's still actively jumping into other men's beds. What forgiveness are we even discussing? Forgiveness is a response to repentance. No repentance, no forgiveness. If you're ready to forgive something you were never asked forgiveness for, then you weren't offended. And why would she ever apologize to you again? Try it. Pick up your phone right now and call her. Hey, sweetheart, listen, I'm not upset about your affairs. Go see him Tuesdays and Fridays. Enjoy yourself. Just come home to sleep. It's lonely without you. Here's how that call actually goes. Honey, I know everything. Know what? About you and Andrew. I forgive you. I didn't apologize. Right, I understand. I forgive you anyway. Okay then, I'll keep seeing him. What? But I forgave you. Great, thanks. People ask if I know real cases where a couple reunited after an affair, lived together for years, and she treated him even better than before. Yes, I know a few. But the research shows that quickly forgiving a wife's affair produces a sense of total impunity and repeat offenses. So it's no accident that in those successful cases, in quotation marks, the man didn't actually forgive anything. He stayed for the children or to avoid splitting the business. And she didn't just apologize, she clawed her position back over years. Obviously, the old warmth was gone. And here's what unites every one of those cases. The man permanently stopped seeing his wife as the woman he loved. She became the mother of his children and a roommate. That doesn't mean he reminded her of the affair daily or treated her badly. Communication was civil, but the closeness never came back. I even had the impression those men were secretly waiting for her next screw-up so they could throw her out with a clear conscience. I'm completely convinced a woman's affair cannot be forgiven. Let me explain. Imagine your roommate once put rat poison in your coffee. You caught him by accident. He falls at your feet, sobbing, swearing on his mother's health that it was temporary insanity, that he'll never do it again, and you don't throw him out. Splitting the rent is convenient, and moving is a hassle. A year passes. He's become the perfect roommate, cleans the apartment, pays the bills, makes breakfast. And every morning he brings you a cup of fresh, fragrant coffee. Now answer honestly, what will you feel every single time you take the first sip? It's exactly the same after an affair. Every time she's late from work, every ping of her phone, that's another sip of that coffee. You'll sit there forever wondering whether something's in it. If your friend is about to forgive a cheater, ask him one question. What if she cheats again tomorrow? Will you forgive her again? He'll be outraged. What? Of course not. Then ask, what's the difference between yesterday's affair and tomorrow's? Why are you willing to swallow yesterday's portion but not tomorrow's? He'll have no answer, because what he actually wants is just for another man to stop sleeping with his woman right now. Or picture this. You jump with a parachute and it doesn't open. You survive by miracle, landing in a swamp. And the instructor, your wife, runs up, hands you the same faulty parachute and says, "Sorry, the lines got tangled. I swear it won't fail this time. Jump again." Would you put that pack on? Obviously not. You're not an idiot. You want to live. And now the most important question. Imagine it was reversed. You cheated on her. She catches you and you say, "Darling, it was just physical. I feel nothing for her." Do you think she'd forgive you? She would not. She'd gut you in court, take the kids, and destroy your reputation. Viewer questions. She says they only kissed. There was no sex. Should I believe her? Complete nonsense. The moment they kissed, it was already an affair, already betrayal. She put everything on the line. That's divorce territory. She went all in. So the natural question is, why would she stop there? You've done A, so to B. You've already cheated, but haven't gotten any of the pleasure yet. That's absurd. When a wife says, "We only kissed," there are two options. One, she's lying. Two, the man was slow. Because it's not typical for the woman to make the leap herself. It's only true if he simply didn't put his hand where it needed to go. And if he had, everything would have happened. Does that make you feel better? I don't think so. She sent intimate photos to a man in another city but swears they never met. Does that count? It's worse, much worse than a physical affair. Because at a distance, she doesn't feel the man's magnetism. She can't be pulled that hard. Now imagine if he lived in her city, worked with her, there's an office party, 3 glasses of champagne, and he puts his hands on her. What happens then? She'd be ready for anything. That's why virtual cheating is far more alarming. It tells you there simply wasn't a suitable man within reach. Maybe they were all married, or might report her, or none of them appealed to her. A woman who cheats virtually will use any opportunity to cheat physically. She was winding herself up over him all on her own. Send her on holiday abroad and she'd come back well used, possibly by more than one man. She offered to take a polygraph to prove it was only once. Should I agree? If she's offering, sure, why not? I've had cases like that. But the real question is what you're going to ask. I had one client whose wife offered it herself and her version checked out completely. Once, genuine regret. But in my view, that's the exception. Here's what you should actually ask. Does the fantasy of being with 2 men at once appeal to her? Has she sized up friends and acquaintances, wondering what they'd be like in bed? Would she want her husband to permit her to sleep with other men? Did she enjoy sex with him? Was it more intense than with you? Did she like it more? Who initiated the first kiss, the first time? Is she hiding other affairs you don't know about? Would she have kept sleeping with him if you hadn't caught her? Does she regret the affair or regret being caught? Does she still hope she'll secretly sleep with him again one day? Ask those questions and you'll learn a great deal. And the final decision will get much easier. The 2 types who cheat. There are only 2 types of women who cheat: dopamine chasers and drama seekers. The dopamine chaser really might do it just once. She just needed to grab a bigger hit of emotion, a trip, an office party, someone caught her attention, her head spun. These are reactive affairs. Afterwards, God, that was pointless. Usually isolated incidents. But here's the catch. You caught her, she got her hit, she has her reserve topped up. 6 months, a year, 2, that'll hold her. Then the hunger returns. It's a matter of time. She'll want it again. The need never went anywhere. The drama seeker is more complicated. She doesn't cheat once. She starts a double life. Serial affairs. And she's more dangerous because when you catch her, you're satisfying her craving for drama. Finally, the show is on. She's been waiting for this. I honestly don't know which she wanted more. Sleeping with him or getting caught? For a drama seeker, the affair isn't even the goal. The plot twist is. Yes, she'll be silk afterwards. Perfect. Soft. She'll do anything for you. But sooner or later, things settle down. Then it needs winding up again. And a new man appears. That's the real problem. If you're already in the middle of this, handling it alone is hard. The author's private lectures, Master of Relationships, and the mini course on distancing from your wife are on his website. Link below the video. That's the protocol.